Good morning and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio, our continuing Career College Exposition webinar service. My name is Bob Martin. I'm the President and CEO of the Imagine America Foundation. I want to welcome all of our visitors to our fifth year of the Imagine America Foundation webinar series, and want to welcome our visitors where we have now produced and distributed more than 150 webinars, with a total viewers now surpassing 6,000 local educators and counselors. To our continuing listeners, thank you very much for your continued support. We appreciate it very much. To our new listeners, welcome, and we hope you enjoy today's program. I'm excited about today's program, Discover YTI, sponsored by YTI Career Institute. Located in 3 locations in Pennsylvania, YTI is a 24-year partner of the Imagine America Scholarship and Award programs, having now provided admissions-based financial aid to more than 5,000 enrolling Imagine America students. If you'd like more information about our scholarship program and how your students can apply for this scholarship to attend this school, please go to our website, www.imagine-america.org, or you could call or email either Lauren Cunningham or myself at the foundation. Since our beginning in 1999, Imagine America remains the leading sponsor of scholarship aid to enrolling high school students. However, our country continues to face a serious shortage in certified technicians. We hear from employers in virtually all sections of the country desperately looking for qualified employees. We simply need to keep doing more. Our partner in today's presentation is YTI Career Institute. Our guests will be discussing this country's never-ending need for job-ready and certified welders and other skilled workers. Joining us today to discuss in detail the shortage of certified workers and how they're working to help meet that need is Jack Burke. Jack is the Director of High School Recruiting at YTI Career Institute and has been working with high schools and in the higher education space for many years now. You are in very good hands. Before turning the program over to Jack, let me very quickly outline today's agenda. Once we finish these remarks, we're going to go directly into today's presentation. All participants can submit questions today via the Q&A feature in the Zoom meeting. At approximately 10:25, we're going to present any and all questions to the presenter. Written responses will also be sent to participants via email. We will have a hard close at 10:30 a.m. So without taking any more time out of today's presentation, let me turn today's session over to Jack Burke. Jack, you got the floor.
Thanks very much, Bob. Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Lauren. Good morning, everybody, and thank you again, as Bob mentioned, for joining the webinar today with us. Time goes by very quickly, so I apologize in advance for speaking kind of quickly, but I want to touch the main points. So the agenda is in front of us. So again, welcome high school students, counselors, administrators, teachers, parents, whoever's on the call. We really appreciate it. We're going to talk a little bit about who is YTI Career Institute, what programs do we offer, what is our admissions process, and as Bob mentioned, some Q&A at the end. So again, congratulations. I love this particular this slide here. I get a kick out of it. We had asked our marketing team to put something together that is kind of technology based. Talk a little bit about some technology, and it talks about some success. So it's funny. It's kind of a nice one. I put this. I was actually doing a presentation in one of the high schools in New England, as a matter of fact. Quite a few students. It was in like a little amphitheater type of thing. And I pulled this slide up, and you know how it always happens. One student raised their hand. I said, "Yeah." He go, "What does this mean?" And I'm like, "Oh boy, what does it mean?" So we know it's an emotional connection, right? Visual, auditory, visual. So I said to him, "Well, what do you think it means?" And he says, "I think it means the guy's happy in there." So I said, if that's what it means to you, it's what it means to everybody else. So, huge congratulations and with technology because of course it changes all the time. And then of course our website's right there. Look at this, yti.edu. I think it's one of the easiest web addresses in the country. So, kicking this off, it's okay to set your sights on careers in healthcare, computers, and skilled trades. And a 4 or more year major at a large college or a small college, that it's simply not for everybody. 4 year colleges aren't for everybody. They're for many, of course. It's a huge opportunity for many, many students. Probably for most of us that are on the call here today. 4 year colleges are fantastic, but not for everybody, particularly in today's day and age. So career education and training in 2023, 4, 5, whatever, it's much more than a consolation prize. And we don't mean to say that in a derogatory fashion, but it used to be not just in education, but just in general. People would think, well, Jack, he didn't go to college. He's going to go the route of a plumber. He's going to figure out life through become an electrician, or maybe he'll do something with burners or heating. And it was always done in a way that it's almost like, well, you're going to settle for that. Well, we have students right now, many students, my heavens, and I cover 10 campuses. We have many students coming back now that already have 2 years associate's degrees, or 4 year degrees, or coming out of the military, or bits and pieces of college. So, education is never wasted, but career education is the hottest thing going right now. For a lot of good reasons. We'll talk a little bit about them. So, the 5 great things about YTI Career Institute. Number one, we're South Central PA born and raised. You're going to see a map where it shows our campuses are located in Altoona, York, and Lancaster. And it's very, very important that you have that as a focal point, because different parts of the country have different needs. As Bob mentioned, and Lauren, they across the country, the need is demanded. The demand is fantastic for any type of careers, and also because Bob and Lauren, work with me. I only work with 3 states. They work with the whole country, and they see that across the country there's different careers in different places, and there are different the demands there. There's different manufacturers and customer service. I'm right outside of Hartford, and I'm talking to you today. Hartford's huge for computer networking because all the insurance industries and things like that. So being South Central PA born and raised, we have a good indication and a good beat on what's going on in those areas. Technical education since '67, flexible career training programs, team to support you, which is really important. What I really like about this company, it's why I've been with them for quite a few years, is that the standardization between the 10 campuses. We have 3 in Pennsylvania, 3 in Massachusetts, and 4 in Connecticut. And the standardization is the same in every campus. We have one vice president of financial aid, one vice president of marketing. I'm the one person who directs all the high school teams in all those 10 campuses. That's good because it's a standard approach and it's the same type of quality. And then we have one CEO and president. So that's really important because that's good support when you have that type of strength. And then last but not least, number 5, ACCSC, the Accrediting Commission for Career Schools and Colleges, is one of the premier accrediting agencies for colleges in the country. And they have approximately, I would say probably close to maybe 800 colleges, something like that, in that range. They do their 5 year renewals all the time. I've been through quite a few of them, a number of them. And they come into your campus just like every other accrediting agency, and they go through your student files. They talk to the students. They talk to our clinical sites. They talk to our employers. They watch, very closely watch all of our metrics in terms of cohort default rates and placement rates and graduation rates. So it's important to be accredited, just like everybody's accredited. High schools are accredited, police departments are accredited, McDonald's are accredited. Everybody's accredited because you want that excellence. Now, the other thing about being accredited in education is that when you're accredited with a national accrediting agency like ACCC, then you are able as a school to provide financial aid for your students in forms of FAFSA, Title IV funding, Pell Grants, that whole thing. That comes as a result of being federally accredited. That's a huge deal, as we all know. All right, so our mission is to support committed students in achieving the technical and professional skills essential for their careers. And I think the key word there is committed. Our admissions process is such that we do not require SATs. In some of our programs, we require the Wonderlic test. We used to do all different types of testing in the past. We decided that probably a committed student as long as the student is committed enough to graduate from high school and or homeschooling or adult education, and they have a good understanding of what their journey is going to be like at YTI, then they have a pretty good opportunity to be successful. So the commitment is what we're looking for. Professionalism, integrity, trust, accountability, teamwork, excellence, relationships, and having fun are our values. And that's what we're also looking for in our students. And of course, we're growing with quality and integrity. So here you go with this map. So you've got Altoona. Most of our programs in Altoona, the respiratory therapy, the RT program, and a portion of that is on, it's a blended program. So some of it is online, and then of course they have to do their clinical. It's a beautiful little campus out there, and it's a very thriving campus. RT is very strong program. Lancaster is right there. You know, you just cross the bridge from York. You go to Lancaster, and Lancaster has like a very strong culinary and pastry program, and they actually have a beautiful setup. It's like a restaurant, and it's actually fairly new. We just redesigned it. We moved our campus. We only moved it about a half a mile, but we moved it into this really beautiful facility that it's just like going to a restaurant, and the students get they get the business as well. So it's culinary, restaurant, and management. The M stands for management. In other words, we're going to teach the students. Obviously, we're going to teach them how to cook, and they're going to understand, that up and down. But also management. What are profit and loss statements? What are margins? How do you buy correctly? What does it take to run a restaurant? What's insurance look like? And all that type of thing. So that helps them a lot when they go out into the industry for a career because now they understand that it's a business and it matters how much you buy celery for or lettuce and if you waste, tomato sauce and all that type of stuff because it all plays into the business and its Career Institute. So we want that student when they go into interview at whatever that restaurant is, facility, that they interview and they can sit across from that HR person and they can explain that they understand the business. I understand that you got a second mortgage and you opened up this business 10 years ago and you've built up this restaurant. I understand what it is and it's here to make money and you have close margins and I understand that. So I know I'm an excellent cook and I'm going to follow that type of business model to help you be successful. So management's a big deal. Commitment. York is a beautiful campus. Sits up on the hill. That's where we have our vet tech programs. We have electrical, HVAC, dental, medical, just beautiful facility. And we'll go into the rest of those. So those are our locations. Some of our graduates are placed. This is we have thousands of past graduates, and we have all those contacts out there and everything in the industry. But we just give some examples of some of our graduates. Highly recommend that you do go to yti.edu. And again, I have to go fast here, so I'm kind of skimming over things. But when you want to do a deep dive, go to yti.edu, and you can click into any one of these programs, and they'll give you an in-depth explanation of the course curriculum, testimonials, videos, all the content is in there for you. Now, back over to career services. Our career service department is actually part of YTI. We do not outsource our graduates. They're a part, our individual students are working directly with our full-time career service advisors. And we don't wait to graduation. We start working with them actually in the first couple of weeks that they attend school. And it's much more than just doing their resume and practice interviewing. Of course, we do all that stuff. We also teach them how to network and how to make a good first impression and how to accept an offer, how to accept rejection and understand, it's really a fantastic opportunity to work with a top-notch professional. Just like our admissions team, many of us have been around. When the team that I work with, the average tenure is like 15 years in admissions. That's pretty unusual. And it's the same thing in career services. So they're dedicated. They know what they're doing. That's career services. Financial aid, we pivot. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, and our educational funding teams meet with each student to discuss their available options. This is where Imagine America comes in. And IAF is huge. I've worked with them for many years and with Bob very closely and Lauren and seen so many times, I mean, so many times, how Imagine America makes a difference in a student being able to attend school. Just to give you one example, I use this quite often. I could talk about it all day. Is that the parents are sitting there, the students sitting there, and this is a true story. And they say, well, the finance is so important, and it is for everybody. Nobody has any money and nobody has enough time. So they've got to get money and time to come to school. And the big one is the money. And so they go in, they see our educational funding department, they sit down with them, they start talking about it. And all of a sudden they find out, wow, I can actually get a scholarship from Imagine America. And YTI also has a scholarship, a $2,000 tuition grant. And all of a sudden they realize, well, what's that criteria based on? Do I have to play the clarinet or throw a football or ace a term paper, something like that? No, no, you have to graduate from school, certain criteria in Imagine America. You have to be a quality student and you have to be recommended and things like that. But what ends up happening is that's the difference. The Imagine America scholarship is the difference between the student having to work a part-time job while they're coming to school or not. And all of a sudden they realize, oh my God, that's my gas money back and forth, or that helps with some daycare. It's absolutely huge. Plus, it's a self-esteem thing. You're taking a student who possibly may be in the lower portion of the student, population is with their GPA, and all of a sudden they're getting a scholarship. And that's always a welcome relief because oftentimes we know, all of us know we're professionals, that it's not always the smartest person that is the most successful in business. It's the person who has a lot of good customer service skills and they're diligent and they won't give up and all that. But that's another issue. But Imagine America Scholarship has made the difference as Bob mentioned in tens of thousands of our students. And I've been there, I've seen it. Thousands of times. Seriously. Computers. All right, so these are our programs. Computers, we have computer-aided drafting and design. That's both mechanical and architectural. Then we have computer and data management. There's your networking. There's your cybersecurity, your cloud. Like I say, insurance companies, school systems, hospitals, businesses, the schools that you're sitting in right now, schools I'm sitting in right now. It's huge, computers, and they change so quickly. And I like that. And I always tell the students, it's good that it changes because when you stay up with the times as they change, you become very valuable to your employer. And that's some really good, that's some good employment opportunities. Our culinary arts program, I talked a little bit about this, culinary arts, restaurant, and management. We have that in our Lancaster campus and also pastry arts. Over here under healthcare, we have dental assisting. We have a HI program, health information management, medical assistant, MBC, medical billing and coding. Bob, Lauren, and I were talking about our MBC program just before we jumped onto this webinar. It's an excellent, it's 100% online. It's an excellent program from somebody that likes numbers, detail oriented. They're going to be working with the ICD, in coding and things like making sure that the billing is correctly coded. And of course, that brings the money into the hospitals and walk-in medical centers and HMOs and such. Nice major and good program. RT we talked about, veterinarian technician, and then our skill trades are electrical, electronics, and HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, refrigeration. I'm going to skip over a couple of things here because it's already 20 after. Again, please go to the website. Here's our computer-aided drafting program. To give you an indication of the tuition and the length of the program, we'll zoom in on a couple of these. And you'll see again, yet that's all on the website. But here we take a look at a CDM. So computer and data management, the tuition is 22,272. This is a 20-month program. So we do have some programs that are diplomas, and we do have some programs that are degrees, associates. And that's again on the website. Culinary arts. Again, this one here is a little, yeah, you can see a little bit more expensive. Dental assisting. This one here is a 10-month program. So let's just zero in on this. So here you have a student come out of high school. They come to YTI Career Institute. In 10 months, for under 20 grand, they're going to be able to go out and they're going to be able to find a job as a dental assistant. Now, we do not guarantee a job and we don't guarantee financial aids. Those two things you can never guarantee in education according to accreditation standards and just in life. We can't guarantee that, but we work very, very hard with our students. And when students want to work, there are jobs out there. So think about it. For under 20 grand in 10 months, they can actually walk in someplace and say, hey, I can do that job. It's not, I can do that job. And by the way, I have passion for it because I went to school for it. Now, they have very, very little student debt. So here they go, and they're starting off, and then many of them turn into managers in the dental assistant offices and the medical assistant offices and things like that. Electrical technology, 9-month program. Electricians, you're trying to get an electrician. Man, oh man. I mean, I tell the story. I mean, the other day, I was talking to one of the teachers. I was in a college fair up here. I'm in Connecticut, right now, and I was talking to some of the guidance counselors I've been with friends for years, and they were asking what are the jobs like, and I had a student come back about a year ago, came in just to say thank you and things are going really great and everything. 26 years old. He goes, so excited. He goes, I bought I have a condo now and a brand new pickup truck. And they have no debt. And people are knocking on the door. If you're an electrician or HVAC or in these careers, there are so many opportunities for them. It's what you know, right? That's what the boss is going to pay you for what you know. All right, as we cruise down here, HVAC R stands for refrigeration, and there are careers in just refrigeration, restaurants, supermarkets, any place where there's facilities like, it doesn't have to be Hershey's Park or, the malls and things like that. It's just, I get pretty excited about it because I see the results. So HVAC-R, so the tuition's 22,255. It's a year long. Now, on top of there's an asterisk there. On top of the 22,000, they have to get their student service fee. In the student service fee, there's the Chromebook, there's their ebooks, there's the uniforms, consumables, and things like that. So it'll probably it'll come in probably in and around the range of about 24.5, something like that, in a year. All right, medical assisting. That's a degree program. MBC, we talked about. MBC, 10-month program, online. Pastry arts, I used to love it when I go down to Pennsylvania. I'd never leave without a couple of scones for the ride home. They are great. One of our pastry chefs here was on that show, Chopped. I don't know if you watch those on TV, but she was an award winner, and a lot of them are. We had one teacher that used to be, it was the Cupcake Wars years ago, that used to be on TV. And she was a winner, and they come and do that. Veterinarian technician here. This is probably one of our most in-demand programs, and that's in York. Okay, so those are the programs. So quickly by summarization, we talked a little bit about who we are, where we are, what the costs are, what programs we have in our admissions process. There is no test. There is no SATs rather. There is a test for, I believe I think it's let's see, it's for respiratory therapy and vet tech, I believe. They have the Wonderlic test and such, but by and large, it's graduate from high school or adult ed or homeschool and interview and that's pretty much it. And they come in, and our classes most of the time they're capped. We have 5 starts every year. We start every January, May, March, August, and October, so it's every 10 weeks. And like right now, we have a start in May 26th, and pretty much across the board in all of our campuses, the classes are full, and we have waiting lists. So we take our time when we make sure that the student wants to come to school. We obviously understand there's many paths to an education. They can have a 4-year college, a 2-year college, a business and technical school like ours. They can go to the military, or they can do OJT. So we're just one of those tools in the bag, and many people find it's probably one of the best. So our steps of success are all around personal assessment, appearance. So we're working with these students to teach them how to behave and how to communicate and how to work with communication and responsibility and teamwork, makes them a good employee. And here's our financial aid, this so important financial aid. So yes, they'll come onto our website. So the admissions process is they go onto the yti.edu, they fill out their online application, and then there'll be a link. They'll click on that link. It'll take them to the government site where they can do their FAFSA with their FAFSA with their parent. And they fill out their FAFSA, and then the ISA will come back to us, and then we will contact that student, of course, have a sit down with them Zoom, but most of the time they come in physically, which is good. They come into the campus, we sit down with them, and then we go over the Imagine America Scholarship. We go over all of their FAFSA, and we work with them to see how we can help them see if it's affordable for them. Now, if there is a gap at the end after they get their federal qualifications for their financial aid and then the scholarships, if there is a gap, then we have to figure that out with them and work something out with them. But the key is by the time they graduate, their debt is not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Their debt is very minimal in comparison. Classes are forming now, so applications are accepted throughout the year. 5 starts a year. We talked about that, and students are encouraged to apply early. I apologize for going so quick, but again, YTI, there it is right there, yti.edu. Will give you a lot of answers as well. Bob, back over to you.
Hey, great. As always, you're doing a great job. Real quick, before I go into your questions, which we've got 3 or 4 that we're going to have. Um, Let me just mention that you talked about the medical billing coding. We just did a pretty exciting podcast showcasing medical billing and coding and talking to the person who runs it at YTI. I would just tell our audience that we have a number of those career-focused, student-focused podcasts that are on our website. I just urge you to go back and take a look at them. But this particular one with YTI is very exciting because medical bill and coding is a real interesting opportunity for people who want to get into a medical career, and they're wondering what do I do if I don't want to take blood and I don't want to do blood pressure and but I want to be involved in it. And I have a commitment to a medical career, but this is a real good opportunity. Stick your toes in. So, first question, right out of the box here, Jack.
Yeah.
How does the YTI Career Institute programs compare to the local technical school programs that my students could go into?
Yeah, good one, Bob. And as I know, we both have many friends that teach in community colleges and such. And the big difference between us is time. Well, it's generally time, we tend sometimes to be a little bit more expensive. Of course, we have the financial aid, but the thing is, it's time. So you look at electrical, you look at HVAC. Most of our programs you're done within a year. Some less. And the other thing, as far as the structure is concerned, there's no prerequisite or gen ed courses required, so they can come right in and they can go focus on just their major, and then they continuously go through the whole year. So they're in, they're out, and you don't have to stop and wait for a psych course or pick something up, an accounting course, 6 months from now. So everything flows within that time frame.
The second question, Jack, is actually a follow-up on what you did with accreditation and your financial aid. Tell us, our audience, a little bit about the assistance that you offer potential students or families that are looking at YTI Career Institute. Help them walk through that morass of federal financial aid. How do I apply? What's the FAFSA? How do I do it? What's the difference between a grant and a scholarship and that sort of thing, please?
Yeah, sure. And a lot of high schools and a lot of the individuals that are on this call, a lot of high schools do a really, really good job of having parents' nights to demystify the FAFSA and things like that. And that's that we see that oftentimes they come in and prepared. It's wonderful if you can get the parents here sometimes. But anyway, what we do here is we actually have an individual meeting with each individual candidate, the student and their parents, and then we'll sit down with them and then we'll figure things out because sometimes they don't. It's a daunting task, and it really has to be demystified. They got, well, what do you mean I'm independent or dependent? And gee, I'm divorced, but I have a stepchild, and or this or that or whatever. It can get pretty complicated, and that's where we're there for them. They fill out the documentation, of course, the FAFSA, and then we work together with them to demystify the program and figure out how we can get them into the program.
So you're the potential student's partner in going through this process.
Exactly. Yeah, well
Sure.
put, Bob. Well put.
Now on with regard to GPA, is there a GPA requirement for enrolling students for YTI Career Institute?
Not per se. What we focus on is did the student graduate? And of course, we all know, again, because we're all in the industry, graduation rates are huge, and graduation rates can vary tremendously from anywhere from 70% a year to as high as 80, 85, 90. And of course, I work across 10 campuses, so I have a little bit of every type of situation you can imagine. And when a student graduates, as long as they graduate, that's a huge accomplishment, and we kind of build on that. So.
Okay, last question before we close off today's session. Do you have any upcoming events, open houses, or such that you would want to tell our audience about?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. So again, yti.edu. When you go to the website, you'll see right at the top of it, as you're looking at the screen, on the upper right-hand corner, there's a link. It says high school counselors. Click on that, and then it'll bring you to the high school counselor page. And then you can schedule a presentation or a campus tour if you want. There's also some information about the scholarships right there. And then there's your events are listed there also. And there's another event tab too that you can click on.
Great job, Jack. Thank you.
Yep.
The Imagine America Foundation has recorded this session, and we'll be sending that recording to all the registrants. The registrants are all going to also going to see a survey that we'll be sending out asking you to provide us input on this session and the content that we've got. We really do value that input, and we really do plug it into our planning moving forward. Before closing, we want to thank the participants of today's session, the education participants, for taking time out of their busy schedule to listen to Jack and to also hear the presentation about YTI Career Institute. We know that you've got other demands of your time. We know that you've got people pulling you in all different directions. We appreciate you just carving out a little bit of time to listen to today's presentation and support Imagine America Foundation. I want to thank Jack for sharing today's presentation and encourage you to contact him as he's mentioned to you off the contact information on the YTI webpage. He's great at answering questions. He's great on follow-up. He'll get right back to you, I promise you. On behalf of the Imagine America Foundation, Jack, Lauren Cunningham, our director, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules and joining us, and I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.